Kit is an Agile coach with CPrime Inc. Prior to this role, he was working with various leading IT corporations such as Accenture, SAP, Oracle, Fuji Xerox, and Pegasystems with remits in operations, technical support and all. But on the business consulting front, he has also helped quite a few companies in their digital transformation by applying Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma, Agile frameworks, and Weng Kit has a comprehensive knowledge of the industry and even took on contract roles. So for those of us who are thinking, hey, contract role, you know, should I even take it? Is it going to tar my reputation? Hey, look where he is right now. He has even taken that on with Prudential Assurance in Singapore to see through a digital transformation program and exercise. So today he's going to be talking about why every professional needs a one-page CV. Okay.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Weng Kit. The companies I work for on the left, currently I work for CPrime, a US agility consulting company. Prior to that, I was working at Prudential for a year, then Pega, Accenture, Oracle. So my work experience, I come from a process transformation background, Lean, Six Sigma, Black Belt. I was doing projects on target operating model, RPA, robotic process automation. And last year, I pivot into Agile transformation. And then along the way, I did a lot of work ranging from being a business architect to a process outsourcing, doing due diligence. The company I'm doing agility now is for Visa, coming to 9 months. And these are the clients I work for. I used to go to Hong Kong to work for HSBC over 8 years. These are my certifications. Last year, I did a lot of courses. I think 4 or 5 courses in 1 year. And you can connect with me on my LinkedIn. Now, point to note is this digital portfolio in Singapore context, use it not for applying jobs. The Asian context, my experience is that not many of them can appreciate this. So I'm going to explain to you, your next question is what can they appreciate? So this slide talks about the CV that landed me a dream job. The dream job is the job that I'm currently doing now, CPrime. The most important part in my CV is this page. It talks about my core areas of experience, where is my domain, the industries I work for, the skills, the certification, my language ability, my education. The sections I summarize explains the professional experience, what I was doing, a few points here, and then what are the key projects and what are the business outcomes. You want to be able to explain some things that you do that stand out, because the hiring manager or the recruiter is not looking for you quantitative points. They are looking for facts. They are trying to catch you on to ask if you're good in communication. You can't say you are good in communication on the CV. You are only good in communication on your CV when you really talk and you answer the questions. So these are the points, the section. And the point basically, and I see Dr. Murali nodding the head. So you need to know in what, there was another question by a gentleman, I think is MN or another person. How high is the percentage eligibility? Basically, this is like dating a person. I use a simple analogy because I use coach. I like to explain in simple terms. You need to know what the lady is looking for, the hiring manager or the recruiter is looking for. Then you probe. If you don't, the recruiter does not tell you something, I will not engage. Because he might be taking my CV for a show parade. I'm not a high chance person. Then I don't pursue. I want to know what the hiring manager is looking for, what the company is looking for, not what the job description tells you. The job description is very general. If you can get the engagement to that point, and you can articulate and engage, find out from the recruiter before the interview session, rather than the person ask you for the CV, then in this case, the recruiter who reached out to me was from US. He reached out to me. I don't even know that they were looking for an agile coach. And he asked me, I had a 30 minutes Zoom call with the person called Jisha. And then I asked her, can I ask something? I'm interested in the role. Can I understand something about the role, the requirement, so that I can tailor it to work with you to achieve success? Then he explained to me a lot of few points. And then I presented this CV with him. Oh, he said it's very easy to understand. This one-page CV is very easy to understand. But in Singapore context, I have, like what Eileen mentioned, when I try it with the Singapore companies, some of the HR recruiters rejected this CV. So there's no right or wrong answer. You basically find the person who appreciates your profile. There were some who says, I want to see which year to which year, which year to which year, which year to which year. If you are disadvantaged showing which year to which year, then you don't show it. You show a concise version. You are there to present your version, which presents you in the most favorable form. And you will only know when you present it in the most favorable form by knowing what the person is looking for. And that you need to probe. If you can get to the angle and get the probing, then you will get it. So no simple answer. I learned it that way. And I only developed this CV after 35 to 40 job application. So Dr. Murali, he mentioned one point. Keep on trying when your job did not succeed. Yeah, I keep on trying. Yeah. So I tuned here. I was asking my other coach, Paul, WSG coach. I hope he was here. He's here. He says, whatever you take to win the job. So I hope I answer some question on the CV. You have it on the handout, something like that. You don't have all the details, but you have the framework and structure. Now, the other thing is that why I say this slide talks about what others say about my work. Eileen just now mentioned about recommendation. This recommendation is public on my LinkedIn. And the recommendation is what other people say about the work with me. This recommendation is not in my CV. When this is very powerful because it explains what other people say about working with me. It represents very good strength when you are saying what other people say about my work. And I presented it in my page 2 of the CV. My CV is a very different CV. So for the audience here, you got to know what they are looking for. But I use this to explain basically what other people say about my work. The general message is that my work is of consistently good quality, right? And it's said by somebody else. Now, the third page talks about the role I am talking about. So this is how Jisha found me. Jisha, the recruiting person at CPrime, found me. Just now, I think, who is that? Dr. Murali and Eileen talk about how you post something, let people know about you. And this is what I post. Last year, I was pivoting to do Agile transformation, Agile coach. I keep posting. Before I left Prudential, I started posting. So posting one post after another. And this is the things I say, oh, these are the points that I posted. This is my coaching event. This shows that I did coaching. I did design thinking facilitation. I was posting this. Then this becomes a fact that shows that I am expressing my views and sharing with the community. Okay. All these points, Singapore recruiters may not receive very well. You have to see the context. You won't be able to understand. You won't know your recruiters like them or do not like them. You have no way unless you know the recruiter and the recruiter manager know it this way. There was a Bank of America hiring manager. He reached out to me and he says, I have a job for you. Are you interested? After I started. You know, I went for a DBS bank job interview, round 2, even though I failed in the round 1. The recruiter came to tell me, I said, why did I get to a drop? This is because you keep on posting things and she was interested in your profile. So basic point is that you need to tell the world what you are doing, and what you tell the world you are doing must be of a very convincing story, which is your experience, what other people say about you, quality work. When other people say about you, your work is generally good. Okay. And then what you are sharing, in this case, what I'm sharing with the community, which is proof, not points on my CV. These are facts that you can find, right? So I think there were some other questions. How eligible, I've answered it. Tailoring the CV to the job. You need to ask the question to the recruiter. Don't show your CV upfront. Ask the person, when the person asks you the CV, says, can I explain for you? How can I understand the detailed requirements of the job? If the person cannot explain, he's just looking for a CV. So explain to the person that I am looking to work with you to succeed. Please let me understand so that I can align it for the reader. They will be happy. There are a few takeaways I want to share with the audience here who are looking for a job. Number 1, key points. You need to know what the HR recruiter and the hiring manager is looking for. You need to know whether he look for points and try to catch you, or he's a general person who look for the points that people like to talk about, post and share things. This one you have to ask the recruiter. If you can get the recruiter to tell you as much as possible, then you're on the right track. Point number B is you need to tell a convincing story. For the Agile coach role, what I was explaining, I prepared the CVs and I also had my RSM coaching deck with me. And I flipped over to my coaching deck. My interviewer was in US to explain. I prepared the 70 slides in 1 week. So I explained the stories and I used the example of how I use the example of a dating app example to explain agile delivery. And then when he asked certain question, I flip to certain slide. The story must be real, must be convincing. Yeah. And then you need to have point number C, the concrete examples to follow up. Point number C, the concrete examples to follow up. When you answer the questions, you need to know that 5 seconds of hesitation shows that you may not be telling the truth. That's very important, right? Point number D is something which most of the, I would say, I like to share this takeaway for most of the people. And this is the most important of all the 4 points. For those who want to change the profile and change the story, what I'm talking about is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I left a previous job. Last few years, I changed 3 or 4 jobs. And what I did was I suffered a pay cut to drop 25% of my salary. I lasted 6 months here, 6 months there, and I was working on, before I landed the job, I was working on pro bono assignment, teaching Agile transformation. Then my coach, Paul, connected me with PMI to give another free assignments on Agile transformation. So you need to be able to, beyond that 1-page CV, you need to do a lot of work to accumulate the project experience. The project experience, which are free, may be very, very low cost, but it presents you an excellent opportunity to accumulate your credentials. That is where the eligibility percentage counts. So there's no hard and fast rule about answering the question on one of the persons. Yeah, so I hope I've given you some takeaways. Now, the other point I want to share is that I was very driven. I was applying 35 to 40 jobs. Okay. reviewers, recruiters, headhunters, everything. No? Yeah. But I didn't look for the job on CPrime. CPrime, the job came to me. Yeah. Because I was leveraging on Po. Po is one of the best person I've ever encountered within the WSG organization. Yeah. And Eileen. Yeah. So Eileen, I bumped into her at WSG when I was very lost in 2018. End of 2018. I just left my company.
A long time ago.
Yeah, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was very lost. She was doing a 2-day workshop. And then I met her again last year. You know, I saw her profile and I invested in a 2-hour session. Oh, this is paid consulting. So for the attendees here, I suggest you do is invest the money to build a good to get a breakthrough thinking. The digital portfolio is a very excellent example. So what she did was to ask me to draw up a 1-page digital portfolio. Then I went to draw something, get her profile. And then I used the profile to go for a job interview at one of the companies. And then she helped me to write a salary proposal. I didn't know, no? I was crafting a salary proposal. She was guiding me all along the way on how to hand-holding about job search process, connecting to the network of employers. So I think this paid consulting, the ROI now, I'm clocking a salary, as I said, that is 3 times my previous pay. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
The details is how I work with two very, very helpful person. One from WSG, one from the real world, to enhance my profile and to reach my end goal. Yeah. So these are the two person I work with very well. Yeah. And I actually had dinner with Paul last night. Yeah. To thank him. I also want to thank a few people here. You see, the 1-page CV is the icing on the cake. What belies here, I did not share with you that last year I attended 4 to 5 courses, a lot on weekends. You see, each course itself, I was funded. I think I used about $12,000 to $15,000 worth of funding from the Singapore government. So I want to thank the government for the generous funding. I also want to thank WSG for their access to the training facilities, and also access to working with Paul, who is a very sincere coach. What I also want to say about my company that I currently work for, CPrime. CPrime is a US consulting company. It's voted on the 15th position in US as one of the best workplaces to work for in professional services. I want to thank 2 persons, Jisha and Sarah. One person is the recruiter. She looked out for me on the LinkedIn. I didn't look for the job. Yeah, so she recruited me and she explained to me the job via a 30-minute Zoom session. My hiring manager who spoke, that's the key point about her. I work very well with her because when we do the interview, she's very different from the Asian or Singaporean recruiters or the hiring managers. They look for, in general, whether you have done the work before. It doesn't need to care whether you have done the work for 10 years or how many jobs. If you have done the work like that, Dr. Murali said, you can have 25 what do you call it, errors or exceptions. He doesn't care. She just asks the questions. Tell me how you do agility, how you articulate this. And I only had 30 minutes for her, not 45 minutes. No, she finished. She asked this, you show this. Okay, finished. So I never imagined in my whole life I would land a job, not as a permanent employee. I land a job as a freelance consulting individual, working for CPrime, clocking a day rate working alongside the US coaching team in CPrime, US, India. I'm the only Singaporean coaching for the US for visa US, Europe and India. And if you are really hardworking, you show your passion and you contribute and you share, people, the US community and the coaches there will respect you. But having said that, these companies, if the clients do not think you can deliver, my notice period is 24 hours. Within the first month, they terminated 3 coaches. So you got to be good enough to be in the freelance consulting mode. Yeah. And the third person is the person who gave me a door opener. I was trying, I bumped into my ex-colleague and I did a free agile coaching assignment for his team, his technology team. And I spent 1.5 weeks preparing the contents and I follow up with the training and I did the coaching. So this is the end of my talk.
Thank you so much.